Hi, for my next magic trick, I'm gonna show you guys how I turned this t-shirt into this bodysuit. And that was so corny, I'm so sorry. Anyways, I grabbed a bodysuit that I already had and just traced out the pattern with chalk around the edges. And I usually only trace one side and cut out one side. That way I can flip it over and it'll be perfectly even on both sides. And I did add about half an inch for seam allowance. I wanted my bodysuit to be like a high rise on the side, so that's why you see me cutting the side leg hole pretty high. And I do suggest watching this video all the way to the end first because I'm gonna kind of explain what I would have did to improve the design a little bit at the end. I don't know who I'm FaceTiming here, but whoever it is, congrats, you made it to my video. I started by pinning the sides together and using a hem stitch to go over the sides, leaving the top and the leg holes open. By the way, if you want to make sure your fabric is super stretchy, because this t-shirt wasn't as stretchy as I thought, so it did kind of have a bit of a tight fit, but you want to make sure that you'll still be able to get it over your hips. And here you can see me pinning the crotch part too, but later in the video I'll explain this part. I think you should sew later after you hem around the leg openings. That way you can get a better fit. After I sewed those 3 areas with a hem stitch, I tried it on and I took some pins and made marks of where I wanted it to take in on the leg holes. And so here I'm just trimming it to that mark. The next thing I did was fold over the leg holes about maybe a quarter inch and just pin it, and then I went over this with the zigzag stitch. For the straps, I cut out 4 strips that were about 1.5 inches wide, and I just made them as long as I possibly could. For the straps, I folded over the edges to meet in the middle and ironed it, and then folded that in half and ironed it again. And this is what they look like when I was done. I tested it out on one side to make sure that it looked good before I recorded it, but pretty much what I did was I placed the edges of the bodysuit, the top edges, in the middle of the straps that I ironed, and then just pinned it, and I just kind of felt through and made sure that it was even on both sides. It wasn't more showing on one side than the other. So this is pretty much the edge of the back, and then I take another piece and I pin it starting from the bottom of the armpit and going up, and this is what creates the strap. If I were to create this again, I would definitely do the straps first. That way when you sew the sides, the part where the straps meet up would be kind of hidden. And I felt like my bodysuit at the end, the armpits were a little loose, so sewing the straps first might also help with that. I sewed the straps with a zigzag stitch because if your straps have any type of stretch in it, you don't really want to use a straight stitch because if they pull a little bit, it could pop. Here I'm just pinning the last strap onto the back. If I did this again, one thing I would do kind of different is sew the straps first. That way when I sew the sides, I'll hide that part under the armpits and it won't make it as loose. And sew the crotch last, that way it'll be a better fit. Overall, I did the final result, and I think it'd be really cute if I had a dry fit top and make it into a one-piece swimsuit. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more tutorials and follow my work on Instagram.